Let's start with the game of the week, brought to you by Ojibwa Casinos in Baraga and Marquette, as Kingsford hosted Menominee in a battle of top 5 teams. We begin with the Maroons and a little trickeration. Menominee fakes the punt on 4th and 5. Kiefer Reisner slings it to Ethan Molesky, who makes the grab, picks up 15 yards and a first down. Later in the drive, Menominee facing 4th and 1 inside the Flivers 10-yard line. Reisner calls his own number, and it works for 6. Touchdown Maroons, they lead 7-0. Kingsford needed an answer, and they would get one in a hurry. Trevor Roberts finds the hole, and he would run all the way down to the Maroons' 25-yard line. Then Kingsford facing 4th and goal. Sawyer Perpich rolls to his right, buys some time, fires it in the end zone. Tyler Beauchamp gets a hand on it, but he could not haul it in, so the Flivers turn it over on downs. Ensuing drive for Menominee, Kiefer Reisner follows the holes in his O-line, and he would get hauled down inside the Flivers' 10-yard line. 2 plays later, Ethan Molesky would not be denied the promised land. A 7-yard touchdown for the Maroons made it 14-0 at the half, and the Maroons cruised to a 42-7 win over rival Kingsford. Out east, the Eskimos keep rolling as they top the Blue Devils of Sault Ste. Marie 35-8. Don't look now, but Escanaba is 5-0 on the season. Homecoming night for Gladstone as the Braves hosted GNC foes Marquette. First quarter play action, Jackson Ostrowski, and he finds Wyatt Goodwin, and he could go all the way. Touchdown Redmond as their offense was clicking on all cylinders. A little later, Darren Johnson drops back, and he's going to chuck this one deep to Noah Olson, and look at that catch. What a touchdown for the Braves. But the Redmond offense kept pounding the rock. Alex Duvall here dives and breaks the plane for the TD as Marquette takes a 31-8 lead. But Gladstone would storm back and take the lead late in the game, and the Redmen miss a game-winning field goal as Gladstone wins it 46-45, their first homecoming win since 2008. Both teams came in winless, and only one got their first win as Munising topped Manistique 46-21. The Mustangs' Alec Blank had a hat trick of touchdowns for Stang Nation. To Negaunee now, a raucous crowd showed up as the Miners hosted Gwyn. First quarter, Negaunee at the goal line, and naturally, Brock Aho takes it in for the touchdown. PAT is good, so the Miners take a 7-0 lead. Second quarter, Model Towners at the 3-yard line. Kevin Roberts keeps it on the left side. We lose him for a second, but out comes Chris Bosworth with the ball in the end zone. PAT no good, so Gwyn is still down 7-6. Closing seconds of the half, Model Towners trying one last chance to score before the half. Roberts throws deep, and his pass is picked off by Eric Hurst. This one went down to the wire, but the Miners moved to 5-0 as they top Gwyn 19-12, the final score. To Ishpeming now, Jeff Olson and the Hematites hosting 4-0 Norway. Third quarter, Knights up 7-0. Josh Plant launches a pass deep down the field, and it's caught by Justin Ball. First down Norway inside the 20-yard line. Few plays later, Plant dives into the end zone for 6. PAT good, and it is a 14-0 lead for Norway. Ishpeming struggled all night on offense, unable to get into any rhythm, and the Knights take advantage and get the win 14-0. Hematites are shut out for the first time since 2006, and who shut them out that year? Norway. Let's go down US 41. We go Westwood playing host to Iron Mountain. First quarter, Mountaineers already up a touchdown. Westwood offense driving down the field. The pass is caught, and then the ball somehow squirts out and lands in the hands of Josh Tucker, and he takes it back to the house as Iron Mountain takes a 14-0 lead. Later, Mountaineers now with the ball, toss outside to Tucker, and he takes it to the sidelines and tiptoes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Iron Mountain bounces back in a big way with a win over Westwood, 34-6, the final score. More scores now as Hurley doubles up Lance 40-20. The Midgets clinch their 19th straight playoff berth, and in a battle of powerhouses, Lakeland and Hubble goes into Newberry and tops the Indians 44-29. To the Copper Country now, Hancock hosting Calumet for sole possession of first place in the West Pack. First quarter, Bulldogs looking to dent the scoreboard first. Carter Nettle finds Carson Turner in the end zone for 6+1, and it's a 7-0 Hancock lead. But the Copper Kings respond. Russ Bjorn to Trevor Johnson. PAT no good, so Hancock was still up 1. But then the Calumet offense exploded. Bryce Turner here. He won't go down until he gets the touchdown. And the Copper Kings have no trouble with the Bulldogs. 52-17 the final score. We have reached halftime on this edition of Friday Night Frenzy. Still to come, it's the 2-minute drill as we hear from Gwinn head coach Dion Brown about tonight's game against Negaunee. We'll be right back with more on Friday Night Frenzy. Welcome back to Friday Night Frenzy. Let's get right into the 2-minute drill presented by UP Health System Rehab Services and UP Rehab Services. They get you back in the game. Our guest tonight is Gwinn head coach Dion Brown, and I spoke to him following tonight's loss to the Miners.
All right, Coach. A game that was a lot closer than most people thought it would be. I guess start off just what stood out to you in this game?
You know, their ability to block and they double tight. You know, our turnovers towards the end in the second half, you know, just little mistakes on our part, you know, but you got to give Negaunee credit. I mean, those guys, they going to execute that fullback dive, belly, trap, you know, they going to execute it to the T. So you got to give those guys great credit, you know. That was stood out to me in the game, you know. Just our inability to not execute when we had, you know, chances to, you know, go down there and tie or go down there and win the ball game.
But a lot of credit has to go to your defense that stopped them, I think, a couple of times on fourth down and really frustrated them when they weren't getting those runs to the outside and they try to pass. A lot of pass breakups. What did you like about the defense holding a pretty good offense to just 19 points?
You know, we worked on it all week. That was our whole emphasis, you know, to just try to shut down the run, then make some pass, make Brock beat us, you know. And he did a great job. I think he had like a 25-yard touchdown pass. But you know what? At the end of the day, we did our job. We gave ourselves an opportunity to win the game. And like I told the kids after the game, I'm proud of those guys. You know, I'm proud of them. You know, hang your head up. You know, hold your head up high. You know, because, you know, and I don't think a Gwinn and the Negaunee game been close like that since probably like 20 years. So, you know, these boys, they walked away with their head up high, you know, and they already talking about Westwood.
4 straight home games, including the Westwood game next week. I mean, I talked about it with you in the middle of the week, but what is the optimism of the team, knowing that you play the rest of your games at home and you have a chance to clinch that playoff spot?
Oh, it's just, you know, one game at a time. It's a good feeling with these guys. You know, they walked off that field happy, you know, smiling, and just, like I said, just one game at a time.
Thanks to Coach Brown for being on with us tonight. Switching gears now for our college football previews, brought to you by Northern Michigan Bank and Trust. For the Michigan Tech Huskies, traveling is always a big part of their plans. For example, last week, they had to travel just over 720 miles south to Columbus, Ohio to face Ohio Dominican. The trip was worth it as the Huskies got the win. And tomorrow, MTU has to travel south again, this time 558 miles to Hillsdale. It's a lot of driving, but head coach Tom Curley says it is what it is.
You know, we understand at Michigan Tech we're going to travel, so you know, we'll embellish that fact. We'll get on the bus, so we change our trip up a little bit on leave time, and then with it being a later afternoon game, we've got a little bit more of a chance to, you know, refresh, regroup, and get ourselves together Saturday morning, and then you know, get a chance to go into that stadium and, you know, and play a good, solid football team.
Slowing down that
the Huskies will take on a 2-1 Chargers team that is coming off their first loss of the season to Tiffin. Coach Curley says the game plan is simple: take care of the football.
I think mistakes are going to be key. You know, I don't think they're going to make a lot of them. We hope we don't make a lot of them. You know, sometimes in a close ball game, the mistakes can get magnified. You know, I think early in the ball game, I think that first quarter that you know, we need to come out and play and show that we're ready to go, and you know, and want to play 60 from the opening kickoff are two big factors for us.
Kickoff at Frank Waters Stadium is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. Staying in the Copper Country, as the Finlandia Lions football team will also be on the road as they travel to Waverly, Iowa to take on Wartburg, who are ranked 39th in the nation. Kickoff is scheduled for 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The Lions are still searching for that elusive first win of the season. As for NMU, they will be hosting Northwood, who is 0-3 so far this season, but don't let the record fool you, as the Timberwolves are coming off a heartbreaking last-second loss to Ferris State. Wildcats coach Chris Ostrowski says they do one thing incredibly well.
Option football team, a triple option football team. They're going to control the clock and shorten the game down and take possessions away from their opponent's offense. And we're going to do a great job tackling the dive and playing option to have a chance.
Tomorrow will be homecoming for Northern Michigan, and it makes the game all the more important to get a win in front of the home crowd.
Our players have great pride in what it means to be a Wildcat. Our coaching staff has great pride in being here, and you know, I'm proud to be this university's head coach. We're going to put a great product on the field in front of our alumni base that have been here, that have been successful here, whether it's football or what have you. There's going to be tons of Wildcats on campus, and we're excited to celebrate.
Kickoff for the game at the Superior Dome is scheduled for 4 o'clock. Speaking of NMU, the men's soccer team got an upset win today at Tiffin 2-1 over the 12th-ranked Dragons. The Wildcats' Edgar Astorga scored the go-ahead goal in the 87th minute to give them the upset win. That makes it back-to-back wins for Coach David Pogge and his team. They'll be back in action on Sunday as they take on Findlay at noon. Don't forget, this Sunday, Green Bay hosts Detroit at Lambeau Field. Give me the Packers to bounce back and knock off the Lions. Here's a look at the top plays from tonight's action. Jimmy Kimmel's next here on ABC 10. From all of us here at the station, have a great night and a great weekend.